And welcome back. It's time for this week's Capitol Report with Pat McGuigan of CapitolBeatOK.com. Pat, it's Halloween week, and former state representative Randy Terrill, no trick here, this is the real thing. He was convicted of bribery in trial at the Oklahoma County District Court. Of course, he's going to appeal this conviction, but what do you think this means, if it means anything at all, for business as usual at the state capitol?
It's very interesting because that was one of the themes that emerged, was that these kinds of situations are business as usual at the Capitol. I'm not sure that bribery, explicit bribery per se, this bold, has been business as usual at the Capitol in recent years. But with that said, the benefit of the conviction might be that things will slow down a little bit more. You know, maybe we'll actually pass fewer laws and spend more time debating and arguing about the ones that are passed in the legislature. More transparency and discussion, rather than the ability to tell a bureaucrat, you know, keep your mouth shut, don't tell anybody about this, and issue directives like that to fellow politicians is maybe better, especially when it comes to making laws. Collaboration, consultation, real debate, maybe we'll get more of that as a result. It was interesting that back during the process, early on in the process, a legislative committee, one member that investigated all of this, 8 bipartisan members of the legislature, and this one member said, if this is what politics is all about, I don't want anything to do with politics. They used the term egregiously reprehensible. Again, for the totally explicit, clear-cut quid pro quo that if Senator Leftwich would not seek re-election, he would make sure she had a job. I think the weight of the evidence was very compelling. Last-minute deals, inserting substantive, meaningful, not just technical cleanup language, but meaningful language in bills at the last possible second. Bullying, threats towards other legislators, towards staff. What my old friend Deacon New at the Oklahoman used to call woolly boogers, which were hidden time bombs, if you will, in pieces of legislation that you couldn't figure out until long after they were implemented. Justice and proportion in the way laws are crafted. Maybe that'll be the result of all this. I will say many people were surprised by the result.
Were you surprised?
I was impressed that the jury would listen to the string of evidence and reach the conclusion they did. I believe the jury was correct. Of course, it's on appeal now. We'll see if it holds up. But I was impressed more than surprised. I would not have been surprised by an acquittal. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Other news, the state's A through F grading scale, this new accountability system for our public schools, remains under sustained attack. I mean, do you think that there's any way the system is going to be saved? Should it be junked?
I certainly don't think it should be junked. You've got a lot of piling on going on right now, which is unwise. I would say this is the flip side, in some ways, of people who are ready to completely give up on public education. And when I say this is the flip side of that, you've got people so devoted to the status quo in education in Oklahoma, taxpayer-funded education, that the fact that there's not improvement after 3 decades of increased spending, the fact that performance levels remain flat or declining, the fact that kids in our inner cities get lousy educations, all these facts don't count when it comes to whether or not there's going to be a spending increase next year. And I'm perplexed by that. I believe that in this case, I've been critical of Janet Barisi at times, but I think in this case she's right. It's a work in progress. It needs to be improved rather than junked, because I'm not sure what the alternative is to give parents a quick understanding of where their school ranks in terms of performance. It's interesting that the case is made to abandon accountability when the case is not being made to junk the entire system. They're wanting to junk a reform that is at least forcing debate and discussion. To be fair to Barisi and to, for that matter, her predecessor, Sandy Garrett, this is a tough assignment that they took on. This public education system's been around since 1907, and A to F's been around since 1912. So if we continue to give the public education system a chance, let's give the A to F system a chance to correct the errors and have a way of holding the schools accountable.
Very good. All right. You can read more about these and other topics at CapitolBeatOK.com. For Pat McGuigan, I'm Alex Cameron. Have a great day.